Warning. Warning. This is not a test. This is not a test.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Drop it.
Tonight, the Mystic Racing League in its Cup Series visits the mountains of Pocono. Tonight, we're at iRacing's virtual Pocono Raceway for this evening's coverage of the action for the Mario Lemieux Foundation 175 presented by 9222 Designs. Catch all the action here today on Boeing TV. My name is Justin Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight is DJ Lion. He'll also be our producer this evening using cameras provided by Whiplash SimCams. Tonight we go racing for 70 laps here at Pocono as we breeze through the spring months of the schedule here, DJ. It's been interesting so far, but tonight we get tricky with the triangle.
That's right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Justin. Tonight, Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. The triangle with 3 different corners. We'll go over that here soon. Looking ahead in the schedule, you see Sonoma, the road course, coming up here next week, then Dover, and then we hit the month of June, but we got to make a quick stop at the All-Star race. More information on that race will be coming up later, and then the race at North Wilkesboro, and then, of course, the big show on June 8th on a Sunday, our 600-mile event at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
That's going to be a busy time, to say the very least, with the extra mileage for those drivers full distance. But again, Long Pond, Pennsylvania, the location when it comes to Pocono Raceway. 3 different corner configurations. First turn after Trenton, the second after Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the third turn is after the Milwaukee Miles turn layout. This track also features various infield layouts as seen in the infield of the screenshot around its 2.5 miles around the track. And that means for many of these drivers, a lot of opportunity for draft and plenty of shifting. We'll also see how Evan Janik plays things out as a 5-time winner so far. Adam Halston, 2 victories on the season, the OER multi-race winner. 5 different drivers have picked up locks for the MRL Cup Series playoffs. Keep in mind, there was a few others, but this is again based on who's been a part of the season at full distance. So that's amongst the drivers that we've seen so far breaking the postseason here. A couple people falling off with inactivity.
Yeah, that's right. And as you mentioned, see the guys in there, in the gold, in the yellow, they are locked in and ready to go. The big battle back there between Pennsylvania driver Jared Knobschneider and Jackson Hatala. 7 points back from the cutoff line, 14 cumulative separating them overall. We're going to see if one of these drivers, specifically looking at John Ullman, Alex Pollock, Christian Barnes, a lot of these drivers extremely fast, just having some rough luck, looking to put another gold name up there by the end of the night.
We'll have to see who's able to add that goldness to their name here this evening as the night progresses here. So, few more minutes to go in the qualifying session, by the way. 26 entrants after a smaller grid made their way to Gateway last time out in this series. So overall, what are your expectations as a driver when it comes to Pocono? You've been on the service for a long time, have experience as a team owner also. How would you describe the experience of trying to race at a track like Pocono, known for its long runs, but also its attrition at the start and the end of races?
Yeah, you get real built up here, especially heading down into turn number 1. A lot of drivers are going to be estimating how hard they want to go. Do they want to save tires? Do they want to go to the front? And you're going to see 3, 4, maybe even 5 wide racing as they hit the turn number 1, but then it all funnels out heading down the Long Pond Straight into the tunnel turn, where even side by side can sometimes be hazardous there. So a lot of drivers are going to be looking to get into single file lane in turn number 2. Turn number 3, Justin, my favorite turn here. The whole place relatively flat, very sweeping. You got to get through that turn well to be able to have that quick run down the front straightaway.
A few more moments to go in the qualifying session before all the drivers make their way onto the racetrack, and we have some different drivers we can tell you who are going to be towards the front. Remember, drivers like Beckett Brown last time out had a nightmare debut in the series. He set the pole tonight by more than 1/10 of a second. So Beckett Brown, after having a disastrous debut, will now look to try and rectify that at a much more trickier track and bigger circuit. See the drivers now line up in the next moment or so. Here's your starting grid for the Mario Lemieux Foundation 175. Beckett Brown on the pole. Christian Barnes start to his outside here today. Sean Wingfield and Isaac Wilson are in the top 4. To show up for the first time in a while in the race, Cody Lupton, amongst one of the newcomers in the field. He'll start in the 6th position. 7 goes to Evan Janik, 8th. Andrew Allen in that position. Rounding out the top 10, Reggie Kime and Aaron Espy in P10.
Rolling off row number 6, the inside, Joshua Thornton. He was fast last week. Keep an eye on that number 29 car and his outside. Joshua Gillen out of the Mid-South. Behind them, John Ullman, he's been fast. Look for him to run near the front. That Slim Chicken's number 34 and his outside. Ever present, never dangerous up front, Caleb Hunt. 15th spot is going to Zach White. 16th here, about a whole second off of the pace here, is Jacob Cochran. And then you got Jeffrey Fisher behind him, Jared Knobschneider, the Pennsylvania driver as well. 19th and 20th going to Adam Holston and Bradley Knobschneider, Jared's brother.
David Moyer starts at 21st. Gino Valenti will start back in P22, a second and a half off the pole. Stephen Gill will start your 2 seconds off as your last driver on time. Alex Pollock, a different look tonight. Ferrari Lemieux in 24th. Jackson Hatawa will start in 25th. And Harold Tucker III, haven't seen that name too much this season. He'll start in 26th position. Amongst your starters here today, as long as that car makes the grid. Your race analysis tonight for the Mystic Racing League. 70 laps your distance as mentioned up the top. The stages, laps 15 and 40. There are plenty of tire sets available. There are 6 in the pit lane tonight. The limit on fuel, though, just 44%. Those fuel runs going to be very short because the runs usually on full fuel are more than 30 laps. You may get the distance of the first stage at best on that fuel mileage tonight, TJ.
Yeah, for sure. These drivers, I talked to 2 of them earlier, they said they were going to be saving right off the bat here coming out of pit road. Looking at Rayshawn Winkfield here, what a beautiful looking car that is as they're heading down out of turn number 1. Getting ready to take the start here, Justin. He said we're going to find out real quick if this is going to be wild or if this is going to be something sort of calm as we work our way to that first stage on lap 15. This race is either going to go quick or it's going to be a long night for both of us.
Who do you think is going to come away with a victory here tonight?
Well, you know we always hate putting the producer's jinx on anybody, but I think Christian Barnes is finally going to break through and take that win here tonight. But you can never count out Evan Janik. He's always lurking.
One more corner to go before we get going for tonight's action. Again, happy with us for this evening's festivities. Here from Pocono Raceway, here's a look at the temperatures before we get rolling. 102 degrees is the track temperature. 67, though, is the air temp. You're on May 22nd in sim of 2025. Again, happy with us for tonight's coverage of the Mystic Racing League and its Cup Series. The Mary Lemieux Foundation 175. It's Beckett Brown starting on the front row. After EOL penalties were factored in, that moved Isaac Wilson to the front row. Green flag is out. We're underway from Pocono. Double back straightaway. One car slides into the wall, goes into traffic. That's Reggie Kime, who collects a couple drivers under caution as Stephen Gill slams into the wall as well.
Break there for Reggie Kime. We're going to go ahead and get a replay of this and see what happened.
Tonight's replay is brought to you by 9222 Designs. Fuel your look with 9222 Designs. All over the racetrack, and that angle takes them right back into traffic.
Tough hit on both sides there. He came down, hit the inside wall. We're going to get another look at it here, and then just ricocheted back up into traffic. Let's see if he had some help.
Looked to be pushing tight on the cold tires initially to the corner. Aaron Espy and Kiel pumped with the people on side. It looks like he almost came up into the driver outside and squished Hunt into the wall. That's what collects him, Gill and Moyer, into the corner. Gill taking some of the worst hits, though, out of anyone.
Yep, we're going to be riding on board here, see exactly what happened on board with Gill. And like you said, it looks like that Reggie Kime just pushed up a little bit, got into the outside car. Let's see it. Kind of farther up there on the screen, but you see how much time he had to react. It didn't look like he was coming across until right there. Normally you would say, hey, maybe you should slow it down or something, or hit the brakes a little harder, but it really didn't look like he was coming back up the track until that very last second.
That's what causes damage for several drivers already in this race. Today's replay is brought to you by 9222 Designs, custom liveries built for iRacers. Stand out on the track with next level iRacing car design. Search 9222 Designs on social media and follow us today. Tell us Ballin TV sent you for $5 off your first creation. And we'll say Alex Pollock in one of those cars, of course with his back into 9222 Designs. Looks like he's going to be amongst the drivers staying out here as those involved in the caution come in, along with Gillen.
Yeah, pit road not too busy right here. Remember, first stage going to be at lap number 15, and we are checking out Alex Pollock's car here. It's got the Mary Lemieux Foundation on it, and that is the 9222 Designs paint right there. Alex does a fantastic job, so always got to make sure that you talk to him on Discord, email, however you want, and he'll get you taken care of. Justin, got some cars on pit road right now. Caleb Hunt, a couple of these drivers that were involved. Let's go check in on them, see how they're looking. The 47 looks pretty good.
A fast repair is available if they want to use it, and this is a track where you can get a lot of repairs done at least. Looks like in most cases, the drivers are electing to get the damage done manually, except for Moyer. Now, there is one thing, while we were talking about Pollock, there was a stack up at Piers for second and third spot because the pace car, they were checking up for it. Wingfield checked up, Isaac Wilson ran into the back of him, and now there's a race car sized dent on the front nose of the 93. No damage to Wingfield as the back bumpers were actually updated this week on iRacing to increase the strength of them. But obviously, Wilson's going to be hurt.
Yeah, you can see that push in right there. Looks like he hit one of those cement poles outside of like a CVS or something. Just kind of ran into one there. Pushed it in. Lucky he didn't get the radiator. That's definitely going to affect his aerodynamics throughout the race here today. But again, these cars are pretty sturdy. You can run them into walls. You can run them into a lot of things, and they can take a beating. So we'll see. I know he's definitely for sure waiting to use that fast repair as we're coming to the choose right now.
Choose this time by, and they're using those lanes with the dotted lines to help separate where the choose will be here tonight. Looks like no issues in Munster's choose as Brown chose the outside, Wingfield chose the inside. No major surprises on lane choice. There is a lot of space you can drive here tonight. Now it's going to matter, though, of how do you play these restarts, knowing it's already going to be tricky on the cold tires. The fuel mileage is going to be helped by the caution flag, obviously, DJ. But also, we've seen how crazy things can get when these drivers are bunched up together here.
Yeah, for sure. And it just goes to a lack of situational awareness, and that's not per se the fault of any individual driver. The more you run, and now these guys at Mystic, they're brand new, 90% of them, to iRacing. They came over from NASCAR Heat, and they had one of the biggest communities over there, and they decided to migrate over here, and they're having a good time. It's taken a while for some of the drivers to get used to certain aspects of the car, where's the car at, and all that good stuff. So we've seen some great racing, we've seen some wrecks, but all in all, great group of people, and they're getting better every single race out here, and it's definitely exciting to cover these guys here.
Race control, give it a warning to try and get the laps logged through and keep it clean here for tonight. El Taco third of note did not make it to the starting grid. So we're all set to go for 25 cars to go rumbling once again. Everyone's still in the lead lap. Restart zone is very early here, a 3 count. Green flag is out. Wilson giving a shot to the back end of the 00 to move Beckett Brown forward, as Brown is already cleared side by side for third on back.
Looking back there side by side between Andrew Allen, Isaac Wilson, battling for that third spot as they climb the banking up in turn 1. They're 3 wide, 4 wide in the back, midfield as they exit and head down the Long Pond straightaway.
Some people still trying to sort themselves out. Up the middle goes Jared Knopfsnatter. Christian Barnes for the Yellow Pony that started off his day. To the inside on screen. Oh, some checkups in front as several people climb the hill. This was an issue in practice. Turn 2, drivers were very tight. Corner exit. Barnes got a better launch. The 82 did not.
Did not, and they're all 4 lanes of traffic right now. Bottom, I saw one driver running on the grass. They're making their way up there, and oh, we got to spin out of turn 3, Justin.
No caution. We stay green. That's to pit road. Joshua Gillen takes it on down to pit road on the the cold tires after he came down pit road to top off. 9222 Designs replay as he just loops it.
Yep, loops it around and keeps going down pit road. So no caution, we stay green.
Keep rumbling, and now he's taking a set of tires for good measure here.
Might as well.
As we see some of the battling, Jeffrey Fisher trying to work outside. Alex Pollock. So far, a good charge for the field from 24th. Up around the top 10 so far for his day. Not a bad drive so far for the Ford. Still not in stage points with less than 10 to go in the stage as he got loose there.
Yeah, he definitely got loose out of turn number 3. And remember, that's going to affect your whole front straightaway, and to have a fast lap here, you need to be able to go down that front straightaway as fast as you can. Draft will come into effect as you hit the inside. Looking up front, Justin, looks like Beckett Brown. He's putting himself in that Pocono sponsor machine up to the front, and he's pieced out from everybody so far.
This is a much different debut compared to how he was on the short track last week, DJ. This has been impressive so far from at least him. What's going through his mind knowing last week he was involved in multiple different cautions? This week, he looks like a completely different driver.
Well, it's hard to say, really, as we're watching the battle for second right here on screen. It's hard to say because I don't know what really went through his head this past week, whether he practiced a little bit more. It was more of a mental thing where he needed to focus more on the track. But whatever he did, he needs to write a book about it because he's absolutely pulling away and taking the field by storm so far. As Evan Janik, our 5-time winner, he just set the fastest lap.
Outside line, taken by Allen. Meanwhile, in the pass, Janik very quietly, the 5-time race winner, looking to move his way to the field. Up 3 so far. This is a racetrack where you have to be careful with the tires. He's right now marching ahead for the run for third.
Looking down onto the inside here as we head into the corner, side by side. And it looks like, I was going to say Janik was going to take it, but Rayshawn Wingfield not one to lie down. He's coming back out. Now they're single file down the front straightaway. Wingfield looking strong on that outside move, but Brown still pulling away. Looks like we got a 3-wide move back in the pack.
Adam Holston got very loose. That coiled things up apparently. Set up the move for the 88 to make some passes. Holston dropping back near to where he started. It's been a rough past few weeks. Someone who started as the championship leader coming into the past month or so. That has really changed. Holston has kind of hit a wall in the stretch of speedways compared to when we started at the super speedways.
Yeah, at the very beginning of the season, we all thought Holston was looked like he was going to run away with this, but as you mentioned, the past few races have not been too good for him. He's working on the back of Caleb Hunt right now, looking to the outside, and he's going to make that move on the outside. Caleb, remember, a little bit of damage from that first lap incursion, but Adam Holston looking quick here down the front straightaway as Evan Janik goes for second.
Go, Janik trying to make the leap. Allen trying to squish him on down. Allen, I believe, has a different paint scheme this week from a different series. That's why he's got the 88 rather than the 96 on the car. But Janik is really good in the tunnel turn, as knows so far. His 5-star racing machine knows how to get that lift mark right, get on the throttle to make sure they don't lose time. That takes him to second. The downside, 3 seconds, the distance for the race lead he'll need to close.
Yeah, that's right. And he didn't leave any doubt about it. Drove it in there super deep, got ahead of Andrew Allen, and now settles in for that long climb to see if they can catch the leader of Brown in the 0-0. Now, he's not really going to be pulling away here from Allen down the front straightaway, but once they hit turn 1 and beyond, I believe that Janik is going to start moving here. As you can see the different lines looking out the back of his car. The outside line in turn 1 is definitely going to be the preferred place to be once the tires start to wear.
Will the times fall? Last time by, they were still 4/10 off the race leader. Interval this time closed up to 3.4. Let's take a look behind them. Back to where some of the drivers are moving forward. Pollock up 15 as we run. So looking on the move for the +3 of Thornton. Here's your biggest movers. Pollock is your biggest mover. Second biggest so far. Hatalik, trouble. Pollock's in the wall. Thornton snap loose. No caution. We stay green as Hatawa zooms by all the damage. Pollock is demolished.
Exactly what happened. Coming out of the corner, you see Alex Pollock there in the 92. He's going to go, oh, he got loose. The 23 got loose. Or Hatala, rather.
Yeah. Yeah, that 29 absolutely snapped loose right into him. And that's the tough thing. He's building up the run, trying to make the pass, right? Thinking he's going to get loose to the bottom? Nope.
Nowhere he could go. Nothing he could do right there. He saw him get loose to the inside, and Hatala overcorrected to the outside. Into the outside wall. Heavy damage, as you see here, on the number 92 of Alex Pollock. Remember, one fast repair, he'll be able to get that repaired. As we know, the first stage is coming up here in a couple laps.
Pit road just closed now, so a lap early. They've closed the pits. That's something to keep in mind as they battle for third. Allen makes the move on Winkfield to hold on. Shout out to Wilson. Despite the damage, he's held on to a top 5 spot only until now. He's fallen out of it. Job taking away that 5th position, but Wilson is out driving the damage so far, DJ, based on his own skill set. That seems to be balancing out that damage so far.
Yeah, if that's the case, Justin, like you said, hate to see how fast he's going to be once he gets that fixed. But we'll be able to see here soon. One lap per go here until we get the end of stage number 1. And doesn't look like Evan Janik is closing at all. Oh, we got a driver down to the inside in the back. Was there a wreck back there? It looks like Jared Knobschneider's into the inside wall.
No caution. We stay green. Can confirm he did hit the wall in the 92-22 Designs replay. It's been a common factor today. Driver gets loose off corner exit. Car snaps. In this case, the wall saves him.
It did. That could have. Justin, good save by both him and the wall right there. I thought he was heading right for pit road entrance.
Meanwhile, we're still coming up to 1 to go in the stage itself. Beckett Brown has been maintaining about a 30-second lead throughout this run. It's 2.9 seconds for the final time around in the stage. 1 to go is confirmed on the radio. His interval has been shrinking, but the gap he built on the fresh tires has not been chipped into enough for Janik to factor in. Brown putting on a phenomenal drive to start to get a stage win.
Absolutely. Well, you know, we saw earlier, just half a lap ago when we were talking about it, that Evan hasn't really gained much on Beckett. Well, 0.6 of a second in that last half a lap, but it's all going to be a little too late here as we're heading into turn number 3. But it looks like that Evan Janik, again, might be the driver to beat here tonight, but we'll see as we're coming out of turn 3, and it looks like Beckett Brown who's going to take the win here in stage number 1.
Green and white checker flag in the air. It's Brown who gets the stage win by 2.5 1.58 seconds. Janik, Allen, Wingfield, Schob round out the top 5 in the stage. Those drivers will get stage points here. As a result of their performances, Isaac Wilson the first out of the stage mark. So your thoughts after stage 1 with Beckett Brown leading them all so far?
I thought after the first little incident there, where it was just a little misjudgment on space, that everyone calmed down and the racing was really good. There was passing, there was 3 wide, but there wasn't anything crazy. And once these drivers figure this track out, what this tire is going to do, it's going to be great racing from here on out. Justin, as we're coming around now, he's going to be able to catch the pace car and get everything hooked up, and we'll see how stage 2 works itself out.
Indeed, we'll let them get all sorted out. Pit stop still a little while away. We'll take a step aside. When we come back, more coverage. You're watching Bowen TV. For tonight's coverage, the Mystic Racing League from Pocono.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage here on Bowen TV as we continue on with the racing action here at Pocono. Choose underway. Becca Brown maintained the race lead during the pit cycle. Allen, Janik, Wingfield, and Barnes now your top 5 here, DJ, as we get ready for the restart.
Yep, Becky Brown in and out of pit road first. And you can see some of these drivers that have used their fast repair. First one that's used one that's running right now is going to be Caleb Hunt up there in the 15th spot. So all of these drivers that have that 0 to the left there haven't used theirs yet, and they're going to hope they don't have to for the rest of this race. But it was interesting to see Janik lose a spot on pit road. We'll see how that winds up for him here.
It does put him in a spot where he's going to restart to the outside with the choose regardless here. We'll have to keep an eye on it. So far, it's been mostly Chevy dominated. Amongst the front runners outside of a couple Toyotas, the Chevy's continuing its growing presence. Now it's the question how this restart now plays out. Chevy, Toyota amongst the top 4 positions. Very curious if Becca Brown's going to be able to hold on. This stage going to be much longer compared to the first one here, DJ. So tire management going to be a lot more pivotal.
Yeah, absolutely. And since Janik is already up there, starting pretty much right behind him, we're going to see how this tire saving pans out. But remember, one more stage coming up here after we get the green here. As pace car is making that left-hand turn down pit road. We're getting ready, Justin.
Green flag is out. Allen doesn't go. Becca Brown able to move ahead and clear. Janik also forced to go side by side to start. No major movements quite yet. So go through to turn 1. Janik trying to shoot his way forward. Pushed way up the track as Allen retakes second.
Old tires going to do that. Me and you, we've experienced it all week in A Open. Running at a different track, of course, but you got to get some heat in these tires before the car will even turn. Even if it's set up on with a little bit of oversteer in it, it's still up into the outside wall. What's some light contact right there, Justin?
Jacob Cochran up in the wall that time, causes 3 and 4 wide down the straightaway. One driver in the grass, around is Christian Barnes. Barnes loops it, caution flag is out. And it's her second for incident here as Andrew Schob helps around the 27, sends him right to the back.
Let's go ahead and get a well, we're going to have to back it up just a little bit more. Let's see exactly what happened here as we enter the corner.
Yeah, watch into turn 3 and keep an eye on the 69 here, DJ.
Yeah, right behind him, Andrew Schob. Oh yeah, I'd say a little bit of contact right there.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Sends him around. Lucky he turned it around like he did though, because if he slept it up in the traffic, fast repair territory.
Fast repair territory, and you know, I maybe a good thing too that he, you see the contact right there. What a great save, and he didn't put it up into traffic, but that little bit right there where he kind of had the rear end of the car up into the racing group right there, that's what brought out the yellow. So kind of a blessing in disguise for Christian Barnes.
EOL car 69, Andrew Chauvin responds to that, by the way. You know who's now moved up into the top 5 with an EOL penalty? Jackson Hatella is so far doing phenomenal getting through this traffic. He started dead last in the running order. Now he's the top 5 in the 09, and for a driver we've seen flashes of speed of this season.
Yeah, and that is a sweet looking 09 car there, the Logitech painted scheme. Jackson has had some ups and downs this year so far here in the Mystic Racing Cup Series, but so far, especially over these last few races, he's been doing pretty good. You see a couple drivers in the back come down pit road. You see Joshua Gillen. He's going to be there for a while, repairing some of that damage. So a couple drivers near the back going ahead and taking pit stops, getting some more of that repaired. It looks like that Alex Pollock coming down again. And, yeah, he's got most of that damage repaired.
It's just working to get the damage completely repaired here. Most drivers are. Christian Barnes also coming in for good measure, it looks like, for a pit stop. Because it looks like apparently he had some sort of damage to the front nose. But Now it's going to be the interesting part too. Like we're going to need a pit stop to make it on gas. We mentioned how tight the fuel mileage is going to be here, DJ. It's going to become the question on how much you can save to extend your run here.
That's right. Taking a look back at the race analysis right now. Remember, we just got done with the first stage. That second stage coming up at lap number 40. And then we're going to go 30 laps to the end. And some of these drivers have burned through some tires so far. Remember, only 6 here tonight, Justin. 1 fast repair. And unfortunately, a couple drivers have had to use it so far.
We'll see how long that statistic lasts, though, as we see many of the drivers in pit lane. So far, Joshua Gillen already has parked it for the night after his spin earlier in the race. But the more short runs we get, the more the 00 is going to remain happy.
Yeah.
So far, looked good on fire off. Long run seems to have swung the way of the 71. But the more cautions we get here, the more easier this is going to be for Beckett.
Yep, it's definitely going to be easier when you can defend your position on the pace lap rather than under green, as you see a lot of craziness going on here for the Chews right now. Where do I go? Where do I go? I think that's a violation. I'm not sure. That's why I'm not race control.
Tonight's race control apparently is Harold Tucker, third, by the way, initially being on the entry list. So we'll see if there's any violations called or not here. As a result here, Isaac Wilson did come down to top off on fuel. So he and Andrew Schob came down. 93, 69, 92. The drivers that are being told to line up at the bottom instead. The leader, though, maintains the outside here for the restart. As Allen just trying to heat up the tires. Winkfield trying to search for some happiness down to the apron.
That's right, and these caution laps are killer here at Pocono Raceway. I want to give a shout out to everybody in chat watching tonight. We saw Alex Pollock in chat earlier. We got West Georgia TV, always a pleasure, West Georgia TV, tuned in to watch tonight. And then, of course, good old Brett Wren in there. Our Daytona winner earlier this season, taking a little hiatus and just relaxing a little bit, and he's joined us in chat as well. Thank you guys, appreciate y'all being here. Drop a like, subscribe, we'd appreciate it, and hit that notification bell so you can see anytime that we go live. We appreciate your support of Ball and TV. Justin, restart number 3 is about to come up.
Tries once more. Brown so far has looked solid on the restarts. Looks to maintain that with less than 20 to go in the stage. Pace car is off. Green flag. Oh, Allen drifts up into the 00. The entire inside line gets checked up from that.
Yep, definitely he drifted up there. I don't know if he was trying to get close to maybe do a little side draft or not, but being sent. Huge send down into turn number 1 by Evan Janik. Nothing doing so far as we're 3 wide in the back.
Janik all in the rear bumper. Winkfield losing a bit of ground off the start. Lawyers amongst those trying to 3 wide, with Barnes making up spots pretty quickly. Oh, and that's well. The rest of the field tries to sort itself out 2 wide for much of this pack.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer old Beckett Brown is going to be in the lead here with Evan Janik hunting him down in the back. I'd cue the jazz music on the soundboard right now if I could reach over there, but you know, I think that's what it is. Now, maybe Evan's going to hang tight and just save some tires, but we'll see. And that 44% fuel, Justin, we need to figure out how long they can go on that, because it's definitely not a lot.
It's definitely not a lot at 100%. Usually around 35 laps, drivers start having fuel problems here. Divide that up in half, that's about the length of the stages, or stage 1 at least. But now, some of these drivers trying to make up some passes here at the very least. Holston right now doing solid. He's been able to move his way to 7th in car rate.
The battle right here between Jackson Talla, Rayshawn Winkfield, side by side. Battle for fifth. Alpha the outside wall, and goes down to the inside. That's going to put Jackson Hatala back to the outside. We got cars spinning in the back.
Cars slamming into the walls in the back. No caution. We stay green. Valenti hit the wall a ton. Zach White and Aaron Espy also had a wreck on the front straightaway. So we take a look at the 9222 Designs replay. Chaos everywhere. No caution.
Oh my. We're going to have to take another look at that. That was insane, Justin.
Yeah, a lot of people had wiggles, and this has been a common spot all day today, is turn 3 corner exit.
Yeah, this starts up in front here between two different drivers, not the one we're focused on right now. Oh, you see Caleb Hunt gets loose, shoots down to the inside, and then back up. Watch the 29 right here. Whoop! Holy cow. Joshua Thornton, I'm going to do one more replay. I'm going to go on board with Thornton because we got to see his on board from that. Look how close this was.
Remember, Thornton's already been involved in one major incident at least here today. He's had to get significant repairs done on the car. Chaos reigns in front.
Yep, you see him here coming out of the turn. It's happening up front. Okay, going to the inside. Okay, he's coming back up. We're going to go back down to the inside. Good miss. Oh, no. Oh, no. Twice. Wow. That was cool.
That was cool. That was also scary.
Yes.
Thornton holds on to 14th after that move. Laps continue on here as we take a look at some of the battles. Lupton trying to hold on to the car. He was one of the people who got loose last run. John Ullman holds on outside as Holston crosses him up with the run. That outside line so critical because the drafting impact down the straightaway, DJ. You step out, it's like hitting a brick wall.
Yeah, these cars go very well when they're single file, but as soon as you get side by side, punches a huge hole in the air, especially if you're side drafting with somebody and that car behind you sucks up. Insane draft can be generated here, especially down that long front straightaway. Looking at Cody Lupton here, haven't seen much of him this season. Saw him talking earlier on the Discord. Now they're going to go 3 wide with Adam Holston in the middle, Cody on the bottom.
Lupton's first recorded start of the season. A little bit tight there once again between those two. Oh, and a lot of wiggles for everyone in the pack. That hit Lupton the most. Ullman able to clear by with the run, no issue. Still 12 to go on the stage here. This pack, mind you, has lost 3 seconds to the lead group. They're about 3/4 off the pace of these two. Speaking of which, Janik has the pace now. He's going for the race lead. Better run down the straightaway with a bit of a side draft to be able to get the pole. Evan Janik just about ready to set it up, and does set it up for the pass.
So it's a beautiful run through the tunnel turn there for both of those drivers. Becker Brown on the outside, Evan on the inside, and it's going to be a new leader here coming to the start-finish line. 5-time winner, looking to make it 6 here tonight. But here comes Brown. He's got that big run. Looks like he's just going to push Janik for right now. But you mentioned the draft earlier. This is how it works right here, right on the back bumper.
Just trying to line it up.
Oh, and he does go to the inside.
Yeah, just to run the yellow line. Janik still has that good corner exit speed at least. Oh, and they slam! Door-to-door contact as Brown drifts up into Janik on his first attempt to retake the race lead. Janik got more momentum to the tunnel turn also. Looks like he's got the run.
Now here's Thornton. Where's Thornton going to go? You see in the background, Hatala making the move to the inside of Winkfield. Still focusing on the battle for the lead right here. Inside, outside, side by side out of turn number 3. Beckett's going to get the run here, which is very surprising. And now Janik's going to go back to the inside, try to pull him back with the side draft, but Beckett Brown led that lap.
Janik very comfortable with the side drafting, it looks like. Brown, will he try and side draft him back? No. Lets Janik send it. Oh, tries to cross him up on the move. Bit of a bobble from the 71. Brown Slips on through and tries to evade the side draft this time as Allen forced to check up.
Very smart right there, defensive driving, moving down to get away from that side draft, allowing him to carry more speed into that corner, side by side still, but that's allowed those the third and fourth place drivers rather of Andrew Allen and Rayshon Wingfield to catch up. Jackson Atala back there chilling in the fifth spot. All 5 of these drivers going for a chance to win stage number 2 here in about 10 laps or so. And here comes Andrew Allen down pit road.
Pit window is open to try and make it to the end of the stage. It'll take tires, or will it just be a splash and dash? We'll have to keep an eye on it as Holston tries to break up the draft to the background. Janik comfortably ahead of Brown now with the momentum. But yet again, Brown's really good in the draft right now to be able to close this gap back up. Only able to get to the back bumper of the 71 this time.
Got to the back bumper, push him down into the corner. These drivers are going to start pulling away. You see Andrew Allen, he spent exactly 6 seconds on pit road, Justin. So what does that tell you?
Fuel only.
That's right.
Splash and dash situation. Brown tight. Slams the one with the rear. Doesn't look like it's going to add damage here, DJ, but they got to be careful. The harder the hit, the more likely it will break.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to break anything here on these cars. Like you said, you can take hits into the outside wall and other contact to an extent on these new next-gen cars, but once you break it, they are broke and they are hard to fix. So tires probably starting to go away here on Beckett Brown. Now, you mentioned that we saw Allen pit just fuel only 6-second stop. These drivers, that tells me these drivers are going to have to pit because it's, we got 5 or so laps left until pit road closes, and then we got 7 laps or so to go until the end of the stage. So I think everybody here is going to be having to take some pits here.
09 pitting this time by, just indicated on the radio. Top 3 all hit the wall. Tawa takes a very conservative pit entry. It's well below the speed limit actually for a moment or so, and still is trying to get up to speed. So a lot of others join up. Holston, Fisher, Uben, all coming in for their fuel. Oh, and a mistake for the 09, locked up both front tires.
Yep, 09 traveling through the pit box there. He's going to have to back up. You see all these drivers on pit road right now. Once that first pit stop hit, everyone else is going to start coming down. You see Adam Holston in, Jackson Atala out. Looks like fuel only going in for everybody here on pit road.
Not a surprise. These drivers try and maintain tire sets for later as well.
Brown's not going away.
Yeah, Brown's not going away whatsoever. And now it's just the 2 of them on the racetrack. How long do they battle it out? Brown trying to build up another run as they reach more lap traffic coming out of pit road.
Yep, and pit exit here, you have a really long distance to figure it out. But I'm telling you, it comes up quick, and there's really not a lot of apron to go on to. So sometimes you can have some incidents here when you come out of pit road, but everything here looking pretty well. Mentioned Rayshon Wingfield on pit road. Now here's a battle for the lead going into turn number 2. Here comes Brown on the inside. We thought maybe his tires had gone. He probably just cooled them down a little bit, and he's going right back on the attack.
He's been backing up his corner entries, I've noticed, compared to Janik, trying to get that fire-off corner exit. It's been working for him to be able to keep up. Brown pushing more on corner exits, though, when it comes to that momentum. Traffic is now feeding draft to them and Jeffrey Fisher. Everybody else still sorting out the pit stops as Brown tries to back up again.
Yep, you see that high entry going for that late apex, get the runoff of the corner. He downshifted there into 4th gear. Be coming back here down the straightaway. You see your leader, Evan Janik, going down to get a little bit of that draft from the lap vehicle. Now back to the upshift into 5th, and here we head into the tunnel turn. This has been really strong for Brown right here. Oh, he drives it in a little too hard. Missed the mark right there, kind of split up, but I think he'll be back up there before too long.
Yeah, he's been able to keep up on this long run compared to last run where he fell off a bit, despite winning the stage. Janik is pitting. Not enough time for Brown to respond as Beckett Brown takes the lead. 71 goes down pit road for service. More stops coming in. Lupton's in.
I think Lupton almost hit that the end of the pit wall there.
It definitely started hooking right while on the brakes.
Gotta go back a little bit. All right, so he's coming out of turn 3. He's going to pit this time. Oh, that was closer than I thought, Justin. Wow.
Yeah, that was a little bit sketchy. That was very sketchy, actually. Drivers trying to get the warnings about pit road coming up for closure. Beckett Brown has to slow it down. Does get it to the speed limit. Good entry to pit road as he rolls it on down from the race lead. 20 laps seems to be the marker. Jacob Cochran also coming down this time by. Will anyone else have to come down is the question. Isaac Wilson right now is your leader on track. They've closed pit road a lap early.
Yeah, looks like a possible mistake there from the officials, closing them a lap early. But that's going to trap, it looks like, Isaac Brown out on the racetrack. Is he going to have enough fuel to finish, or is he going to have to come down and close pit road?
He did top off. He's 16 laps into a run. Christian Barnes, I think, is the bigger concern because he topped off also, and Barnes is running massively off the pace.
Yeah, I think you're going to hear him clutch here in 3. Yep, absolutely clutching the car, letting it roll, trying to save fuel to the end. Coming to 2 to go.
Janik has 13 seconds, by the way, to make up out of those who are good on fuel. Let's see what they do here on the clutching post. Right now trying to stretch it out. First lap lead on the 9 for Wilson.
Yep, a very slow first lap lead, but nonetheless, he is saving fuel. Coming to a lap and a half to go here, clutching in all 3 corners. He's going to have enough to make it, Justin. That's going to be tough. Evan Janik now about 11 seconds back, so gaining 2 to 3 seconds a lap. That's not going to be enough. He's going to have to hope that Isaac Wilson has to slow down even more, or he runs out of fuel.
Andrew Schob disobeyed the closed pit road. He came down regardless for service. Joshua Thornton, he's coming down for a penalty with the pit road closed. 1 to go in the stage. Will Wilson and Barnes have enough to make it around? They're right on fumes.
Yeah, can they make it? Can they even run the pace lap afterwards? Will they run out under the pace lap? That's going to be the question. I'd rather do that than under green, but still, as you can see now, Janik within 10 seconds now, 9 seconds. So I don't think Barnes is going to be able to hold on to second, but looks like Wilson might be safe here.
Wilson's going to try as much as he might save here, but 71. Janik now within range to pass Barnes. Green-white checkered coming up. Wilson stretches the gas. He'll be on fumes and sputtering, likely on the pace laps. But it's Wilson. Gets the green-white checker flag. Stage 2 goes to Wilson. Janik does take second. Third spot, Christian Barnes. Rayshon Winkfield in 4th. Andrew Allen is your top 5. There's the caution.
Yeah, he made it. He made it. He's going to be clutching right now. And remember, they got to go around a whole nother lap. They got to catch the pace car, then they got to go a whole nother lap before pit road opens. He's still got to do almost 2 whole laps before he can get on pit road.
Take a break. More coverage here on Bowling TV right after this. You're watching the Mystic Racing League and its Cup Series.
you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Pocono.
With the launch of Pocono Entertainment and Pocono Competizone alongside Pocono Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at McConeySetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Pocono Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage as we continue on with the racing action. It's been an interesting night here for the Mystic Racing League as we continue on with the Lemieux Foundation 175. Be sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the action so far here tonight from Pocono. 27 laps to go. Of note here, Christian Barnes could not make it all the way around during that pit cycle. He ended up pitting before the pace car came out. That's why he's now in 15th position for the restart. Isaac Wilson did make it around, however, and restart in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, and after pit stops there, Justin, and after the choose, he's going to go up behind Beckett Brown. Did we ever confirm, did Beckett Brown even take tires there? Or was that a gas and go?
He did not take tires.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out here. But we're going to see what those tires look like here once he goes up against Jeffrey Fisher, Evan Janik, Isaac Wilson. See how Phil Beckett Brown can make it around and to spoil the win here tonight for some of these regulars.
We'll find out together how this plays out. We've seen no tires work to a point. Jeffrey Fisher also took that strategy call, by the way. That's why he's on the outside front row, or the inside, should say, to this front row. Track temperatures, by the way, have dropped down to 96 degrees. Still at least one stop required to make it to the end on gas from Pocono. This race flying on by as we restart. Green flag is out. Bogged down from the inside. Outside, Brown with a good launch.
Good launch on the outside. Wilson following directly behind him. Here comes the 3-wide move down to the inside. Evan Janik, Andrew Allen, tight going into turn 1. Almost some contact up into the outside, almost into the wall is the number 22 of Jeffrey Fisher. And that's all she wrote for Jeffrey, as he is now mired back in that pack as they're 3-wide now for second.
3-wide, trying to battle to the middle is Janik. Allen tries to keep it up. Backing out of it was Wilson. Allen slips his way up to second as Brown tries to run. 3-wide hit again. Wakefield now getting shuffled. Atawa, he's the one to back out this time.
Not for much longer as he's coming back down on the inside. Oh, he's going to run Isaac Wilson almost on the outside wall. Some contact with Woolman, and around they go and head on into the pit wall.
Caution flag is out this time. We're under yellow with that incident for Cody Lupton. Lupton, in his first start of the season, is demolished.
And we're going to get a little replay of that here and see exactly what happened, but I think he took out those water.
And iRacing, they don't really move that much, if anything. 9-22 Designs replay. Yeah, 3-wide in front, and then it all went wrong for the 88.
Yep, you see Cody Lupton right there. Get a little bit of a tap from the 22, but nothing too bad. And then him and Ullman are going to get, John Ullman comes up, gets into the left rear, and the left rear again. Ullman almost misses pit road, but not Upton. Slams into the pit wall. Riding on board here with Upton coming out of turn number 3. You're going to see him shoot hard left to the inside. Ullman gets in the side of him right there, saves it, gets him again, and watch this.
Demolished contact. Just absolutely obliterated the barrier. And obviously that going to kill his chance of lead lap finish here with the tow. 24 laps to go still. Here in this one, Ullman does get the cause of caution with the EOL penalty. And that makes the plot ever so thicker on the fuel mileage saving game. We are still outside the window to make it on gas based on how things worked in the last stage.
Absolutely. So these drivers, you think some of them are thinking fuel strategy right now, Justin? They're going to try to save again? Let's talk to one of them here. Let's try to hook up here with Evan Janik, 5-time winner this season. Evan, this DJ up in the booth. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, doing all right.
Well, what's your strategy here going in? You saw some of those drivers that save fuel to make it to the end on stage number 2. What are you looking like here? And do you think you have anything for Beckett Brown?
Yeah, definitely. You saw me be able to hold him off once I finally passed him. Strategy-wise, just run it dry. As soon as I'm out of fuel pit, there's no use of saving. I mean, we can split it in half, so that's probably what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and I know you're choosing right here. Over the course of the night, or no, you're not choosing right now. Let me rephrase that. Over the course of the night, the inside lane and the outside lane have both worked pretty well going into turn number 1. You know, when you do come down to choose, what are you thinking about here?
Probably the control car. If the 96 in front of me doesn't go with Beckett, I'm going to go with them and try to launch with them the best I can.
Absolutely. Good strategy right there. Evan, you've won 5 times so far. Looking for a ring for the other hand here tonight. Maybe see you here in victory lane later on.
Let's hope so.
Thanks, Evan.
Yep.
Evan Janik, Justin, seems confident here tonight. We'll see how it plays out.
Have to keep an eye on things to see how it does play out here. Ullman and Thornton, the ones who came down that time by for pit stops. Everyone else is staying out here. But now we'll have to see what really happens. Becca Brown really going to be tested here with those tires. He ran away quickly despite the older rubber on that restart before the caution.
Yeah, he did. And as you know, and everybody knows that's watched or seen iRacing before, it's definitely a leader's game, right, if you will, on any restarts, especially since they instituted the passing zones. You know, in my opinion, racing on here, I'm sure yours is the same. It's pretty much impossible now to game the start, if you will, on the outside with that new rule put in place.
Absolutely. It's so difficult to time it up right unless you want to risk getting a black flag. Now, you can try it, but the sim will definitely not be happy with you if you attempt it. Here comes the choose. And looks like it's the same pattern. It's the way Wingfield, that's borderline. He cut across the track.
Oh, that is borderline. I thought he was going to make contact with the other driver, but we'll see what race control says. I'm sure it was you know, something minor or didn't break the rule completely. I don't know. I don't make the rules. We just talk about them and show them on the track. It's a good time, but this choose rule, the race control clearly specifies that you have to be in one lane or the other. Like there are literal lines on the track. You see the seams on the track. Like you got to be in the very bottom one or the very top one. So it's not a communication issue. It's just, you know, sometimes drivers, they're trying to figure out things. They're working on pit strategy. They're working on different things, and at the last second they're like, oh, I got to choose, and then, you know, so it's all good and fun.
Choose is clear. Yellow penalty. Yeah, choose clear. 34 and 82 were the yellows this caution period. They'll start towards the tail. Just about ready to go for this restart and what should be an interesting time for Becca Brown still, as he looks to maintain control at the front of the field. Allen to the inside. Jack Zantella, one of the drivers to keep an eye on too. FLM lined up first two rows. All set for the launch. They come up to the restart zone. Green flag waves. There was some checking up off and on, but it's Brown who's got the better launch once again from the outside. Allen keeps it alongside for second.
He does. Head down into turn number one, 3 behind him, Holston in the middle. Allen got a really decent start, all things considered, right there. As you see Wingfield up on the outside using the attic of the racetrack to try to get that run down the Long Pond Straight. Apollo's down to the inside, but right now it's your top two, Brown and Janik, as they run. And here comes Andrew Shobe to the inside. He was involved in an incident earlier.
Not bad on a recovery so far for the 69. Still 21 laps to work with. As contact for second. Allen and Janik trade blows. Wingfield already with damage. Hits the back end of Allen as Huntala moves up into third with that maneuver.
What an amazing save. We saw it live here with Evan Janik. He, as a driver, you can feel and see and hear sometimes that car on the inside of you. And he just kept driving right up the racetrack and was able to save that. Both great job to both Allen and him, as well as we got some more battling going on here for that 4th, 5th, 6th spot. Here comes Christian Barnes back up through the field. Remember, he made the pit strategy work, but he wasn't counting on the yellow flag laps.
Indeed, you see how that 27's trying to push throughout the traffic. Able to get themselves on a decent recovery up to 6 now, once again, with 19 to go. Mind you, Barnes was amongst those who recently topped off. Thornton and Ullman also throwing that mix. They're outside the field mark, though, by at least 2 to 3 laps based on the caution windows. Have to see how this works out as Janik sets a personal best once again on the track.
Yeah, track temperature cooling down, as we noted a few minutes ago when we looked at the weather. That's going to make these cars even faster, and it doesn't hurt that Janik's getting a little bit of draft there, heading down the straightaway in turn number 2. These cars are fast here tonight, and Hatala, a little bit of a surprise here. Wasn't expecting them to, expecting him to run well, but he's keeping pace with these leaders, as it looks like Janik's going for the lead here in turn 3.
Trying to take the poke. See, now they battled last time, but Brown has the better pole for now. We're back to 18 to go. It's now a 2-car race for the race lead, essentially. Tallow outside of drafting distance as Janik, again, for a second consecutive lap, sets a personal best. And we've seen how they traded belows last time. How do you do it this time? To try and get the job done cleanly and efficiently. As trouble!
Wingfield.
Huge crash!
Looks like Rayshawn Wingfield's around there, Justin, out of turn number 2. He took heavy contact in the outside wall, and another driver coming up behind him did not see the accident, made some heavy contact as well. We're going to dial up a replay here and see exactly what happened.
222 Designs replay once again. Wingfield set for a slide and right back up the track.
Yep, it looks like that Adam Holston, and then here comes, who is that? Is that Zachary White? Let's take another peek here. It looks like Holston gets into the back of him. Right here. Around, and then heavy contact, and then watch Holston. Here comes another driver behind Holston. The 77, yeah, Zach White right into the back.
Just obliterates into the wreck. People are saying thank you for the caution for the field mileage.
That's definitely a benefit.
I guess, as they wreck in front, welcome into the outside, and then brakes late.
Yep, welcome to the show, Zach White. We're gonna need to whip out the backup here, brother. I think
we have cars scattered over the racetrack right now. Adam Holston is still trying to struggle to pit road. Wingfield just picked up the pace to get there, so a few of the leaders are going to have to be careful of the 8. Yeah. That's not a meatball, surprisingly enough, but it is demolished, as the cars know they can pass, right? He should not be out here, and he is struggling even making a pit road here.
He's that's what you call a little bit of rear steer right there. Adam Holston finally making it down to pit road, and here comes everybody else, and looks like we're going to be able to run to the end here, Justin.
This takes away the fuel strategy part of the game, as it looks like the 00 is taking tires. Most people, looks like, are indeed taking the fresh rubber here in this situation as the race off pit road. Brown's gamble pays off. Janik over Hatawa and Allen. Barnes over Schob.
That's right. So we're going to be able to go green. Well, we're going to be able to run the rest of the distance without having to pit again. Pending any yellow flags, we can go green from here on out, Justin. So it's going to be a good show. Now that everybody knows they can go full out, I believe we're going to see some crazy battling right here.
Interesting enough, an EOL penalty just came over. Evan Janik, believe, just got an EOL penalty here, DJ. I'm not sure what for.
Yeah, it looks to be race control assigned, so I'm not seeing anything in the iRacing logs. So this had to have come from race control. Not sure what it's for.
So this changes a lot as Janik is coming out a second time. So it doesn't really matter. He comes down for the top off. So he'll go towards the tail. Field's still sorting itself as the lights go out on top of the pace car. So the 71 at the very least, not feeling secure about the fuel mileage here, it looks like, DJ. It was touch and go before, but now he'll be at the tail after being a contender to battle with Beckett Brown all race. Can anybody else rise up to the occasion here?
Well, I think we're going to see a great move from Evan Janik as he tries to work his way through the field right now after coming back on pit road. Now, mind you, this is not up to date, but he's going to be right around the 14th, 15th position, I think. There's a couple other cars did pit as well, so we'll see how fast it's going to take, or how long, rather, it's going to take Evan Janik to come back up through the field. As you see him there, the lonely man out, making his way down the Long Pond Straight. He's got a long way to go. Only 14 laps once we come across the line. It's going to be fun watching him come through the field.
Gonna get interesting here, to say the very least. Now, what happens? Some of the contenders towards the back, some of the others ready to get themselves sorted here. Beckett Brown still in front. Jackson Hittala second, Christian Barnes third, Andrew Allen fourth. What's the lineup? Aaron Espy spots the top three rows here now. It's quietly done very solidly. Top 10, top 15 speed. It's 25 car grid tonight. Coming up to 14 laps to decide it. Early Lemieux Foundation 175. Green, green, green. Back on her way, inside line, did it get lined up alongside the 00. Barnes trying to get the pole.
Barnes trying to get the pole down the front straightaway, but, well, he's going to drive it in. He said, who cares about that? It looked like that Allen and the 09 of Jackson Hittala were going to push each other down to the second spot and battle for the lead. Everyone's excited now because Evan Janik's not up there, so they're like, okay, that's one more. Now I got my eyes on the leader. Let's see what we can do. Hittala running in the top 5 all night. Going to see if he can get around the number 27 of Christian Barnes, and he does. Now, does anybody have anything for Beckett Brown?
It's the question mark right now as we continue to see the field rumble its way around the circuit. Oh, contact to the wall. Contact out of turn 3. Barnes forced to come down pit road after Hittala slams the wall down. Evan Janik is now spinning down the front straightaway for good measure. Caution flag is out with 13 to go.
What happened first with the 27 to Christian Barnes, and it looks like that Hittala is just going to come off the corner, get into the outside wall, and that's going to force Christian Barnes down to the inside here. Let's take a peek.
Pure chaos. And it's right there, and Hittala slams the wall. No time for Barnes to react except to go to pit road. Lucky he didn't get most damage. The second incident was the cause to caution, Wakefield and a couple others.
Yeah, let's rewind here a little bit and see exactly what happened. Oh, he was reacting to the wreck, and so were a couple other drivers, and they made contact. We'll get another angle here, but tough break and some damage to that car for the 71.
Big incident starting to stack up, as we said. Cautions towards the start of races and end of races, the theme here at Pocono. We're just following the script at this point. Here's a look once again, right there, 87.
Yep, he went down, reacted to the incident, and the 87 was below him, and that sent both of those drivers around. Heavy contact for the 87, sort of moderate to heavy contact for the 71. Remember, one fast repair, they do have it, so we'll see how that plays out.
Puts in her caution. As the field tries to sort itself out, we'll take a break. Restart coming up. 12 to go here at Pocono. More coming up on Ballin TV after this. Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage here on Ballin TV for more racing action. Field under 10 to go in the Mary Lemieux Foundation 175, presented by 9222 Designs. Becca Brown has controlled this race most of the night. It's his second start in the MRL, and he looks to close it on out here, DJ. This has been impressive from a driver that was not so impressive in his debut last week.
Yep, complete 180 from last week to this week. Beckett Brown up in the front has led most of the laps here tonight. And his main competition we saw there under the yellow flag, Evan Janik, he's back in 12th. He's been on pit road, got himself fixed up. Going to have about 9 laps to go once we cross the start-finish line. Don't count Evan Janik out just yet.
Could be a fun time to see if he holds on. Andrew Allen still amongst the drivers hoping to break through to playoff victory also. Job in third, Attala in fourth. Then you have Espy and Wilson now fighting for a top 5 spot for the upcoming restart. Note there is some wall scrapes now on the 00 we've seen. Fisher It's up to 7th. So one of the drivers who tried the strategy with Beckett Brown earlier did not stick it out like before. Of note, EOL penalties, Reggie Kime and Rashawn Wingfield this caution period. Kime asked for the EOL. Wingfield, cause of caution. All set to restart with 9 laps to go at Pocono. Green flag is out. Allen tries to time it up again. Can he get a side draft down to the restart? No, Brown tries to block him down. Allen gives him a break. Now goes for a side draft of his own into 1. A send by Allen for the race lead.
Janik back there going 3 wide down to the inside. Now these drivers are 4 wide off of the turn number 2, still maintaining their pace, and the battle for the lead heating up, and battle back there looks like for 14th heating up as well. Drivers doored each other down the back straightaway.
Get a lot of contact back there. Still have 8 laps to go. Kale Putt nearly watches Andrew Schob up the racetrack for good measure. Evan Janik zips on by on the inside after the faster pair as he tries to make up lost ground and fast. 8 to go at the stripe. Brown trying to run away. Wakefield coming down pit road.
Goes Janik down to the inside, trying to break any sort of side draft that Schob could have had on him. And now they're side by side behind him, but Evan Janik up into 5th. 1 lap is all it took, and we got Knobsnyder up in the outside wall. Car's still good. They're 3 wide behind him. Here comes Christian Barnes on the inside. Picked him to win. He fell to the back. He moved up to the front, got involved in a wreck. Now he's coming back to the front, Justin. He's been probably passed more cars than anybody here tonight.
A lot of scrambling in the back of the field. Front of the field, trouble. Spin at the back. No caution, we stay green. John Ullman getting turned around in the 34. That was in some checkups going on with some of the drivers at the back of that group, including Stephen Gill.
Yeah, looking at the replay right here, you see him on the inside of the 92 of Alex Pollock as they hit turn number 2. And oh, the 01 was really slow, and the 34 had to check up. 29 of Thornton, nowhere to go, in and around. 360 continues on. We're still great.
So John Ullman comes down pit road as a result of that. Still 7 to go as we continue to see how these drivers progress forward. Right now, Allen, he's progressing nearly to the bumper. He's closed up the gap, but Janik is on the prowl, already to 4th.
Here comes Evan Janik. Not a lot of laps left, but Janik is on the move, on board with him right now, currently in 4th. Janik, fastest car on the track last time by, and he gains a couple more tenths as they head down into turn number 1. Brown must feel a disturbance in the force right now, and all it's going to take to get him there quicker is for Allen to mess with Brown and try to pass him. Once you get those cars side by side, it's going to be a heck of a night here as Bradley Knobsnyder being shown the meatball flag, so he's going to have to come down pit road.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if these tires last. Is going to be the big thing, DJ. Janik's going to make up a lot of ground, and he's going to need a caution here. If he really wants a true shot, you're going to have to think at this point. All of this is being said, coming up to 5 laps to go. What do you tell your driver if they're trying to get up to this 00 to make sure they don't burn up their stuff, but no, you're running out of time. You're running out of valuable time fast.
Exactly. I'd tell them right now that the time to save is past. You need to go 100% right now, but you need to do it smartly. And here goes Janik battling for that 3rd spot. He's going to take it easily over Jackson Atala. And only 1 more car left to go until he gets to the back bumper of Beckett Brown. But like I was saying, you gotta go and give 100% right now. But if you go over that 100%, if you go to 101% and you slide those tires like Beckett Brown's doing off of turn 2, you're gonna find yourself in a world of hurt. You need to go as fast as you can, but also as smart as you can to get to that checker flag.
It's going to be the major thing, keeping things smart to be able to have a shot here So that interval closing in rapidly by the 71. 4 laps to work with here at Pocono. Wilson and Show, but still battling out of the backdrop.
Show going to look down to the inside. Wilson, remember, the winner, stage number 2, just doesn't seem to have the speed for that win. He's going to be battling here, though, for top 5, top 10. Here comes Caleb Hunt down to the inside. Everybody's wondering when Caleb Hunt's going to get a victory here this season. He's had the speed, just hasn't had the luck. Hopefully he can get one here before the playoffs start, but he's battling right now. That is Caleb Hunt down to the inside. He's going to take that 6th spot away, it looks like, from Wilson, but that's going to bring Christian Barnes up the battle as well. So these 3 drivers all going for that 7th spot.
Not bad so far on his move through the field. Hunt's been bounced around all night. Barnes still trying to make the push to the inside of both of them. Try and take away the 6th position with less than 3 laps to go. Looks like the move is on for the 27. Can they clear by? No is the answer. And that's the tough thing right now. It's so hard to pass the longer the run, DJ, and that's going to be a major thing as these tires wear to end this race.
That's right. It's hard to pass nonetheless. And what in the world just happened right there? They were working around a lap car of John Ullman. That was almost really bad.
That was major trouble and cost them a lot of time. Let's take a look what happened here as they reach Ullman, and then, well, watch right here.
So Ullman kind of give him a little bump. Okay, he's there, and then Ullman gets loose. He goes to the bottom. Actually, that wasn't as bad as I thought at first, but that was still rough. Ullman stood in the line and did not want to get out of the way, and Beckett Brown was having none of that.
That looked bad, especially with lap traffic being reached at the wrong time there. The gap is still 1.2 between 1st and 3rd. As we come around to the white flag this time by already. Coming up to the final time around, and Janik still has to deal with the traffic too.
Janik still has to get around Ullman. I don't think he's got enough. He's 2nd behind right now. This is Beckett Brown's race to lose, and all it's going to take is 1 slip up, and Allen is going to be there. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go here at Pocono, JP.
Final time around. Beckett Brown has been impressive in his 2nd start of the season. His 1st start of the campaign, nightmarish to start off his career, involved in multiple incidents, and now he looks to close it on out for a couple more corners. What will Allen do to try and take it away? Will Allen try and go for the bumper? Will he try and go for 1 more lunge? He's taking a small look. No, not gonna happen. Coming out of turn 3, Beckett Brown closes things out. He'll take a win in his 2nd start of the MRL.
Great finish for Beckett Brown, and a really good finish for Andrew Allen. Good to see him running up there in the front, putting on a battle for the lead. Evan Janik driving all the way from 14th to 3rd in those last few laps. Jackson Atala and Andrew Show going to round out your top 5. Really, really good run for Beckett Brown considering his last start here. Complete 180 from the doghouse to the penthouse goes that McCombie Setup Shop sponsored machine, the 00 Beckett Brown.
He's going to have a lot to say and have to think during the post-race interviews here after a run like this one. Unreal night for Beckett Brown. Here in a very quick race, by the way, for this field. Celebrations on for the 00. Beckett Brown now burns it on out. We'll take a step aside. We come back, more coverage for the Mystic Racing League and Mary Lemieux Foundation 175. You're watching Ball TV's coverage from Pocono.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Pocono.
With the launch of Pocono Entertainment and Pocono Competizone alongside Pocono's Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at McConeySetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Pocono Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Drop it.
Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage of the Mystic Racing League here from Pocono. A busy night here in Ballin TV. At the end, it's Beckett Brown who takes the win over Andrew Allen. Evan Janik rounds out the top 3. We'll speak with those drivers in just a few moments. Jackson Atala and Andrew Shobe in the top 5 tonight. Christian Barnes in 6. Caleb Hunt 7th. Cody Lupton, Isaac Wilson, and Alex Pollock here top 10.
Give a shout out to Cody Upton. Remember, he went head on into that inside barrier, got his car repaired through the one fast repair, made his way back up into 8th. Good run for him. And of course, Alex Pollock in 10th, like you said. 11th place going to Adam Holston. Remember crab walking earlier down the back straightaway. That was fun to watch. He comes home 11th. Joshua Thornton, Jared Novschneider, Reggie Kine, Jeffrey Fisher in the 22 round out the top 15. Aaron Espy, Rayshawn Wingfield, John Ullman, Gino Valenti, and Stephen Gill through top 20.
21st went the way of Knobsnyder, Bradley Knobsnyder specifically. Then Zach White in 22nd, Jacob Cochran 23rd, Meyer and Gillen round out the entries tonight. Harold Tucker was in race control. That's a look top to bottom at the running over here tonight from Pocono Raceway. Where in the end, in his second start in this series, Beckett Brown gets the job done. After what happened last week, I don't think most people had you picked to come with the win tonight in dominating fashion. How does it feel to be a winner in the MRL?
No, I knew I could get it done last week. Heartbreaking. I was going through the field a couple times, but today was definitely not hard or not easy. The mistake to not pit early at the end of stage 2 gave me up the track position, but not taking tires when everybody else pitted got me back up there. Couldn't have done it without my team. Aaron, all them guys. I thank them for letting me join the league and being on the team.
Overall, how would you describe the battle to be able to make sure you maintain the lead pack tonight? You and Janik went back and forth a fair bit at some points tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely stressful. He's a good racer. He's really good. And I was, when he got that penalty, I was definitely excited that he wouldn't be able to challenge me. But he made it up towards the end, finishing 3rd, I believe. Proud of him. That was really good for him.
So overall, what's now the approach going to be the rest of the season? Now you already got the win down to add to that total on the season.
If I'm in the playoffs, I guess I'm gonna not ride around, but be competitive and be smart. But if I'm not, I'm going for wins every weekend. I know I can. I know I'm able to. So why stop there?
Anyone who want to give a shout out here tonight?
Yeah, the whole team. David Moyer for spotting me. Aaron for the team. Stephen Gill. They were all good. They were all good for me.
Congratulations on the win here tonight, Beckett.
Thank you.
Beckett Brown able to come away with the win tonight. Andrew Allen finishes in 2nd. I believe Andrew Allen was discussing something with some of the competitors. He's now a DJ.
Mr. Allen, good to see you up here. 2nd place, man. It's been a minute. Talk about the run tonight.
Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I wasn't even expecting to be up there, and then when I was up there, it was kind of just like, all right, well, we're here. Might as well make something of it. and I didn't even expect to be fighting for the lead there. That was a lot of fun, except for like some of the early on.
When you were talking about that you didn't know what to do, in my head I was thinking of the Ricky Bobby. What do I do with my hands? What do I do with my hands?
Actually, I was just sitting there with my hands like that too, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely a good run. What was the turning point after that start of the race where you're like, okay, I might have a shot at this?
I don't even know, honestly.
Maybe when Janet got sent to the back there?
Even then, when we were coming into stage 2 finish, they were fighting, and they were fighting hard, and I was keeping up with them. And I realized at that moment, I was like, okay, I might actually have a shot at this. And it helped having my teammate pushing me on the restarts, being behind me. He held up Janik for a little bit there at the end to try to get us some more space, so that way we can battle it out without him trying to come and take the lead. But either way, it was fun.
Well, we went from a unique track here at Pocono. Next week we go to the road course out in Sonoma, California. Thoughts about that? How do you like turning right?
I love road racing, especially in these cars. Earlier today I was doing Porsche Cup as practice, just something to get me back into road racing. And Sonoma, I've had a good history there. I haven't won yet, but I'm hoping that'll come next week. We'll see what happens.
So what you're saying is there's a possibility we'll be talking to you again next week.
I'm hoping. I mean, you guys talked to me back when we were at COTA, so.
There you go. Hey, who do you got to thank for getting you here tonight?
Teammates, Joshua Thornton, Jackson Hatala, my wife, and everyone on the car, Moza, Rise, and Madison Chrysler.
Hey, you went from being late to the driver's meeting today to finishing second. It just gets better as time goes on, Andrew.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Congratulations. Hopefully talk to you next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, and we're going to move down now, and we're going to send it over to JP, who's caught up with third place tonight, Evan Janik.
Yes, indeed. Evan Janik coming away third spot here tonight. You had some good battling here. How do you describe that battle when it comes to you up at the front with Beckett Brown much of the evening?
A little frustrating. Every time I got past him, he had help behind him to just get back to my inside until I was able to finally keep him behind me on that pit cycle. But not a clean race by my part. So if it was clean, I probably would have won.
Yeah, we've seen some trickiness when it comes to traffic. How difficult was it once you lost that track position when you had to come down a second time down pit road?
It wasn't too bad. What really killed me was the restarts. Just losing so much time. My line doesn't get a good launch and just makes that much more cars I got to pass.
How do you feel about Sonoma, where we've seen how dominant you were last road course race? How do you feel about this one?
I feel pretty good. It's been a while since I've run it, so I'll have to do some practice this upcoming week. But we're gonna do our 5-star racing practice, I'm sure, during the week, and we'll see how we all turn out next Friday.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, thank you to Super Oil Pros for their support here in real life. Thank you to 811 Dig Safe NY, and thank you to 5-Star Racing, 9222 Designs, and everybody at the 5-Star Racing group.
Congratulations on the podium here tonight, Evan.
Yep, thanks.
Evan Janik rounding out the top three. I'd like to take time to thank the entire top three for speaking with us during post-race coverage here on Ballin TV. An interesting night here from Pocono, DJ, but next time we go road course racing at Sonoma. Your thoughts?
Yeah, next up, May 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on Ballin TV. It's going to be the Mystic Cup Series live from Sonoma. JP, it's been renamed 3 or 4 or 5 different times. We've had different on-track configurations that we run, and I tell you what, it's still exciting and still fun to watch as a fan, and it's fun to race on as well. Can't wait to see these guys out here next week. We know the COTA race was exciting earlier this year. Can't wait to see him at at Sonoma next week. The race here tonight, though, I loved it. It was good, clean racing. There was some excitement. There was some beating and banging every now and then, some 3 and 4 wide. But all in all, what a great showing tonight here for the Mystic Racing League.
Again, be sure to tune in next week when we go to Sonoma starting at about 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to tune in on May the 16th. But on that note, it's time to say goodbye. For producing tonight and co-announcing DJ Lyon, for everyone here at Boeing TV, I'm Justin Prince saying so long. Enjoy the rest of your evening. You've been watching the Mario Lemieux Foundation 175, presented by 9222 Designs, here for the Mystic Racing League and its Cup Series from Pocono. Good night from the Pocono Mountains.